I've had these glasses since 2007, and I remember how helpful they were in helping me to see the world a little bit better. Welcome to today's classroom. We're hoping that this video does for you what these glasses did for me. We're hoping that the video and the amazing people in it help you to see the world a little bit better.
Cheerleader.
A cheerleader.
Just
Nice.
know that I'm trying the best that I can.
That's
Just motivation. You get going, you get adrenaline pumping, and
yes.
I want somebody to be my cheerleader.
That.
They don't have to like put on an outfit, but I'm just saying, just be there for me.
I'm my own cheerleader. So a listener. I think everybody needs a listener.
I agree.
Everybody. You have to have patience.
Exactly.
If you have patience and you're a good listener, you have all they need.
That's
The best kind of support. I like to laugh. I like to joke around. I like to play. I like to sleep. I like to do all kind of stuff. So really, just be there for me.
just be there.
Just be there.
Doesn't you don't have to talk.
Yeah.
Just be there for you.
At least listen.
So a good listener.
Yes, sir.
Patient.
Yes, sir.
Wonderful.
For me, in my journey right now, would be somebody to listen, and maybe sometimes a comedian.
That does help. I got
Yeah,
Yes.
a little comic relief does help on certain days. Yeah.
A comedian and a good helper, like a good, she gets me out of this and puts me in the bed.
I feel like all of that
Excellent.
because it involves all of that, because you never know what you're gonna get. Box of chocolate. So some days you might, you know how you think, oh, this looks delicious, and you put it in your mouth and you have to gag. And so, yeah.
Some days are like that.
Exactly.
Yes.
So you need somebody that's gonna sit there and listen to you, no matter how crazy it is, because one of our members just said we have a broken brain.
Yes.
And that's what it feels like, because it's like you know what you want to say, and it's just not coming out, or you'll say the same thing over and over, and then they're saying, like, you just told me that like 5 times, and I'm sorry, I'm repeating myself because I forgot. And you need to laugh, because if you don't, you will cry.
Encouragement when it looks like I'm getting kind of gloomy that I can't do this. He always encouraged me. You can do this.
That was another one
Yeah.
of my questions that I have written down is, where do you get the most support from right now?
My
It sounds like
husband.
your husband.
My husband.
So,
My
okay.
husband is my biggest support is God and my husband.
Absolutely.
Well, I think the most important thing is, well, prior to her being diagnosed, it was kind of hard to figure out what was going on, because there was a lot of things that we were shared in doing, and like finances and everything, and so a lot of times it was like, was this taken care of? And it was yes, and then actually it wasn't, because the mind was saying I did, but it actually wasn't done. So after her being diagnosed, then I started studying things myself. I was trying to figure out, what is this really about? So a lot of people don't understand stress, because in that same year her father passed.
That may have triggered.
That may have
Because you have
triggered.
to look for the triggers of relapsing. And
Right.
things like that.
Right.
So, okay.
And so that's why I stress that it's so important to not bring stress.
It's sometimes hard. Yeah, I've been, since especially it put strain on my little body at a young age, but I feel like it made me stronger in most ways. And yeah, sometimes it's going to be very difficult and it's going to be a long road, and then sometimes you're just like, can I still do this?
What do you do when that happens?
I go in there and I talk to my mom and I say, I've been doing this for a very long time, and I didn't plan on stopping I didn't plan on stopping sooner. But I always tell her, sometimes this is hard on me, or certain things are just hard on me, and we try to figure it out and figure an alternate route.
It's important to be honest, to know that, hey, I'm really being, challenged with this,
Yes.
and talking to the person. Look, we're both going through this. It's not the same thing,
Yes.
but would you say that she's somewhat of a help to you as a caregiver?
Yes, a big help.
She has helped you, and you have definitely helped her.
Yes.
So it's a great teamwork with that. So that's wonderful.
That's the whole purpose, is being there for each other. Well, no matter what might be going on, if you need contact for a new doctor, you're not happy, because my MS specialist always say that if you are not comfortable or you don't feel like you're getting what you need from your doctor, find another one.
Exactly. You're in
Make
charge.
that change, because you are your own advocate.
Exactly. Yes.
And if you don't ever say anything, then nothing will be resolved. If you're having a bad moment or whatever and you need to talk, call me. Just call, because sometimes that makes a world of a difference if you have somebody that's available to call. Because I do call. I may not call them all, but I'll send a text out and see how everybody's doing. Y'all just chime in, let me know.
There is an open communication line with me and my doctor, but not really at the same time.
Because they're so busy.
Yes.
So that's why you're here.
That's why I'm here at this support group.
Okay.
I had no idea there was one. I work at a hospital. So I contacted Human Resources, and I said, is there a support group for MS? I've been diagnosed. She says, no, we have a support group for breast health, but not for MS. And I said, okay. So I look up on Facebook, but some of those can be kind of sketchy, so you have to figure out which ones are real. And then all of a sudden, a lady from Human Resources called me back. And she said, okay, I know this lady. You can try this lady. But I know her. I said, okay. So I text the number, and sure enough, we have a support group.
Once a month, every third. We try to shoot for every third Saturday of the month at 2 o'clock. We normally meet from like 2 to 4, 2 to 4:30, something like that.
And that's in the parish library.
Parish library,
on Orange Street.
right?
Okay.
And unless something goes crazy where we can't meet here, then I'll try to find. It'll be at Sacred Heart School or somewhere like that. Yeah.
There'll always be a place.
Yeah, it'll always be a place.
Okay.
The most important thing is that we need people that are gonna be there and not judge us. That's the main thing. That's the purpose of this support group, is that you can come in here, you can talk about anything, we laugh, we joke, and you feel comfortable. And you're not gonna be, nobody's gonna be in the corner laughing at this and that. We laugh at each other, we laugh together.
Yes.
And so that's what makes you strong to deal with MS.
MS doesn't define you. I know what it is, but I don't live in that life of I have MS.
You choose not to.
I choose not to.
Choice, very much so. So that's wonderful.
I'm an overcomer, that all things are possible with God when we trust Him. Your word says, by your stripes I'm healed. So I'm walking in my healing because I'm believing that God has totally healed me. The doctor might say one thing, but I believe that I am healed from MS. I just, I just have times where I'm tired. I just have times that I'm in pain. I have times where, I can't remember things, but I still walk in my healing.
You live in hope.
Yeah, and that's the main thing. I noticed with some people that has MS, that they let MS take over, but I don't let it. Take over me. And people have to know it's not easy. I mean, it's not. It's hard, but I mean, it's a choice that you have to be willing to make and stick with it.
The most important thing with your support system is to surround yourself with positive people. Because if you have, it's amazing how if one negative person or comment, it can really bring you down. It can really bring you down. And you try not to be sensitive, you know, sometimes, like I think I talked about that, yeah. Try not to be so sensitive about everything, because some people, they just don't understand what you're going through.
Living with MS is really hard. At one time, I couldn't put on my own clothes, and my kids was there. You know, I raised my hand up, they put my clothes on, they brushed my hair, whatever I needed, and a lot of people don't want to depend on other people, but I knew God had me. So God put everybody in your life for a reason. So, you know, sometimes you just have to don't resist and just just thank God for it.
I do want to say this because I have been noticing around the internet that I've been discovering a lot of people with MS, and they think it's a bad thing. It's not really a bad thing. You just gotta know how to deal with it, how to take your time with it. I got diagnosed at 13. I always thought I don't know. I always thought it was a bad thing too, but growing up, learning about it. When at that time it was a lot going on, everything just started falling apart. I was going through a hard time at that time, but I had God. I kept praying. I do want to say something to the young patients, like me, young age. We here. That's all I gotta say. We here. Thank God. Anything could be going on, but we here. And I love y'all.
Excellent.
There's a lot of people that don't know much about MS. When they see me, they ask, like weird questions about, MS or what's wrong with you. Why are you walking like this, or why are you walking with a walker? So and when you sit down and explain them, and then they say, well, you don't look like you have MS, but
What I really don't like is when people say, oh, I know somebody with MS and she's doing just fine. She's doing just fine. You're going to be just fine.
I will never say that.
Well, you sure do look healthy for somebody who's diagnosed with that. I don't know what to say.
All MS patients are different. Just please take your time. Have patience with us. We're trying the best we can.
Yes.
Oh, and that's another thing. Actually, for a while, I couldn't write. Like, everything I would try to write, I would try to do the alphabet. Like, I know A, B, I know the alphabet, but...
You couldn't physically
No, I couldn't.
do the letters.
MS is not just physical, it's mental.
Exactly.
Because it's neurological, a neurological situation, illness, that it affects every part of your body and the brain. You know that you want to take a stroll, and it's like that miscommunication. Yeah, tell the rest of the body that, okay, we're trying to move.
Yes.
We want to go to that corner right now. I know we can go slow, but let's get there. That's what it is. I mean, and it's just an everyday journey. Every day is a journey.
My daughter, when I stopped pumping milk, that's when all of my symptoms started happening. All of it. And I said, if I'd have known that, I'd still be pumping milk, and she's 19. But that's when my symptoms came. I started stumbling to walk. I didn't understand, like, it felt like something in my head was not right. One day I had a headache so bad. I told my mama, I said, the only way I could make it stop is if I stopped breathing. My headache was horrible. And I wasn't the size I am now. I was smaller. My brother had to carry me into the emergency room. They did a CAT scan, gave me a shot, sent me home. They said, if the headache comes back, just come back. Went home, got like 3 hours of sleep, and I woke up screaming because the headache was back. Went back to the emergency room. I gave me another shot. They said, you need to see a doctor. You need to see a doctor like tomorrow. And at the time, my mother was working for a primary care doctor, and he took me in. He saw me and he said, you have all the symptoms of MS, but I don't know for sure. I'm just your primary care doctor. He made a call. I saw the neurologist the next day, and he said, you have all of the symptoms of MS, but that MS is not common in black women. 20 years ago, it was not common in black women. He said, I think it's MS, but you have MS.
I'm still in the anger phase. I'm going through grief, and I understand I'm eventually going to get it out of the anger phase, but right now I am in the anger phase. I'm upset a lot. I don't have a lot of answers. And my family can only be as supportive as so much because they don't understand. So when they ask me, how are you feeling today? The answer is always going to be the same. I'm always going to say, I'm okay. Same thing at work. When the nurses ask me, how you doing today? I'm doing good. Just keep walking. Because if we stop, and if I really tell you, I'm going to get angry, and then I'm going to start crying. And we can't have that at work. Just can't do that.
Right.
So, and I understand it's normal to go through phases because like I said, it wasn't like it just slowly came up upon me. It literally just happened. And then bam, here you go. This is your diagnosis. Have fun. Live with this.
The only thing I can, tell you guys is if a person say they have MS, just listen, because you don't know what's going on with that person. You never judge a book by its cover. They can look good on the outside, no telling what they feeling, no telling what the mind thinking. Everybody's different.
The greatest challenge is just getting up.
Out of bed.
I don't have the energy. Yes, sir, but I also have God. I thank God.
Because there was nothing for me to read. There was no literature on this. There was nothing in the doctor's office that said anything about MS. So I just had to learn as I go. Yes, I had to learn as I go.
We had an episode in December.
This past December,
Yeah,
2023.
yeah.
What happened?
I was diagnosed with Guillain-Barré.
Heard that. What is that?
It paralyzes the body.
Okay. So you're doing better.
Yeah, I'm doing
I
much
guess.
better from that.
Are you on medication for that?
No.
Okay.
They started me on some type of infusion.
Yeah.
It was an infusion they gave me for a week, and I started gaining everything back. But I still had to go to therapy, and
Whatever they're doing is working.
it's working.
So, outstanding.
Yeah,
That's
it's
wonderful.
working, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
So no matter what has happened, there's always been an answer.
Yeah, I don't let it get me down.
The dilemma I'm in now, she wants the old MRI disc from my last one from Houston. I said, not a problem. I have called them once a day. I have emailed them, and I have faxed them for the last 3 to 4 weeks now, ever since I came back from New Orleans, asking for my disc of MRI. And they won't return my calls. I haven't heard from anyone. Now, I know it's against the law for them not to completely deny me my MRI disc, but they can push it to the bottom of the list.
I can't snap my fingers and be happy. I can't snap my fingers and be better. I can't snap my fingers and make you love me. I can't snap and it just go away. And I try, but it doesn't work. I'll snap away, but it doesn't work.
You go through this mourning period because all the things that you were able to do in the past, you're not able to do them, and it's frustrating. And so you go through different things. Like me, my mourning, I'm going through it now because I used to have long hair. This is a wig.
Wow, okay.
And so because of all the medications I take and the thyroid issues, that's my mourning. And so hair loss. And you're trying this product and trying that product, and you go to the doctor and they tell you this, you try this, and nothing works. So then I'm not gonna walk around bald like Terrell, like Terrell. And so I said, well, this is my life. I just have to deal with it, you know. So I'm just still, you know, I still mourn about it because, like I said, I used to have long hair naturally. And so when it started falling out, I'm like, oh my God. And then I said, why is it's always in the front? Because, you know, in the middle, you can cover that up. But it's always, I know, always in the front. It never fails. But I mean, not to say that everybody has that issue with MS. I'm just sharing my experience. Everybody is different, exactly.
Well, I would say the biggest challenge is when you look at me, don't seem like anything wrong, and a lot of people won't know. They wouldn't know I lost my eyesight. They wouldn't know I haven't been unable to walk. They don't know I got paralyzed. They don't know just so many different challenges. It's good, but you don't know another person's struggle. Don't judge a book by its cover.
What I'm really looking for now in my journey is basically mental help. I'm not to the physical stage just yet, but mentally.
Right now, okay, well, actually about a few days ago, I had to get rushed to the hospital because my chest been hurting. A couple months ago, I'd say about 3 months ago, I had a little cold, a cough, but the cold left, but the cough didn't. So I was still coughing for about 2 more months, and my chest started hurting. Hurting a lot. I couldn't sleep, really. That's another thing. I just been up. I ain't been able to sleep. My appetite been good. Oh, I could eat. I could eat. I have to wait to get to Houston.
For the specialists?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
I have an awesome support group. So I'm blessed beyond measures. It's everybody around me. I have my mom and my dad. I have my 2 kids. I have a lot of friends. And everybody is special to me.
Is there something that you wish you could get that you're not getting?
Yes.
Yeah.
A boyfriend.
Boyfriend, absolutely.
Sorry.
No, that's
I already have a
completely honest. A companion.
That's it, companion.
Who listens, who accepts you.
Yes.
And that's very important. So absolutely.
Yes.
I understand that. I think most of the people who are watching will understand that.
Now, I'm pretty much getting everything that I need as in support. I've been dealing with it for so long that, it just becomes a routine. My body knows that when I need to rest, and sometimes I don't know, but my husband, he'll tell me, hey, you doing too much.
That is a good thing to have, yes, because sometimes we can overdo it and not know it.
And he knows that.
That's wonderful.
And he does that. 4 years ago, he asked, when I was seeing my neurologist, she asked, did anybody have any questions? And in the meeting, he was like, well, can she drive? And she was like, oh no, she shouldn't be driving.
Yes.
So
Were you driving at the time? Or?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
But I haven't driven since that day.
Then, yes. Okay.
Because my legs tend to give out on me.
Sure,
and so I I didn't understand that. I'm like, I've been driving since I was 17. I can do this.
Okay.
So it took a while to, you know.
I have my daughter, I have my mother and my father. And they just, that's like 3 of the most awesome people God put on this earth. Because they all have seen my journey. They all know what I'm suffering with. They all know why some days I just don't want to get out of the bed. They know these things and they keep me going. Say, well, hey, we're out barbecuing. Why don't you come outside with us? Don't stay in the bed. Get in your chair and come outside to, you know, socialize with everyone. Okay. And that helps. That little push helps. You're not going to stay in the bed today, Heather. You're not going to, nope, not going to do it.
You know, you never know what's going to happen, so you just pretty much have to deal with it, and you have to have faith that it's going to get better. I feel like this, if I have a relapse or anything that happened, I'm not okay with it, but I'm okay with it because I know it's not going to last forever. Just sit down and relax, and, you know, maybe I can't walk today, but tomorrow I might be running. Who knows?
Exactly.
Who knows?
Talking for me, like my mom talking for me, that's a big one. I really don't.
Having someone to help you communicate.
Yes, sir. That's a big one, a real big one, because I don't really, I'm shy. This is my first time doing this. I'm surprised I really jumped up and said, yeah, I'm going to do it.
I'm honored, first off. And you never know, we're all evolving. And so who you were last year, this is a whole new year.
A whole new
and
one.
So,
and I like this one better.
Nice. That's great to hear. What's working for you now?
I'm not gonna lie, marijuana.
Okay, so that helps, right?
It does. It relaxes me, it puts me at ease, and not just. Good. And horses. I love horses.
Really?
I know. That's kind of in my bucket list.
Yes.
Like riding a horse. I just want to see things.
Exactly.
Just notice things. Look at things that I don't normally get to look at.
The last support group meeting I came here, they told me to find an MS specialist, that there's a difference. I had no idea.
Oh my gosh.
I know there's a neurologist.
Right. Yeah.
Okay?
Yes.
I had no idea there was a specialist. So I said, well, what's the difference? Because he treats MS.
Right.
But he also treats, it's almost like a regular generic.
Specialist, all about MS.
Yes. So
who do you have now?
Now I go to New Orleans. They have an MS specialist clinic there.
Absolutely.
I was like, okay. I have family spread out more over there.
In that area. Okay.
In that area. Right. So I could stay at their house instead of getting a hotel room.
Nice.
So that's not too bad.
My husband is pretty much, when I tell him about wanting to travel somewhere, his main thing is, what did your doctor say? How much it is, and who are you going with? Exactly. That's his 3 words.
Yes.
It's always me and some girlfriends, and one of my girlfriends, she's a nurse.
Oh,
so,
perfect. Okay.
And she knows about my MS and stuff like that, so and that helps out a lot. And I always make sure that I get approval from the doctor. Is this the best choice for me to go here? We do blood work and stuff like that, and check my levels and stuff like that. So we make sure everything is okay.
I have a treadmill at home. That doesn't mean I get on it all the time. But like when I feel my body just getting weak and it's kind of hard. A person with MS should exercise daily to keep up their body, the joints and the pain and the support to help them. But we don't do what we're supposed to do all the time, Even though I do have a treadmill, sometimes I just go out to the gym and walk the track or something like that. Different environment.
Very different, but it also helps.
Different. Whatever you can do, go ahead and do it. It's going to help you in the long run.
I was practicing yoga because yoga is very good for your whole body. And then I fell one day, and oh God, when I fall, I cuss myself because I wasn't paying attention. I wasn't paying attention to my surroundings, and that's it.
If you see a symptom Write it down.
Because I can't remember too well anymore, so I write all my symptoms down. So every morning when I get to work, I write them down.
Yes.
And if they happen throughout the day, I write them down, and I have a folder on my desktop.
That's a great way to do it.
Print it out, hand it to the doctor.
Yes.
Here you go.
Yes.
She was like, okay, this is a lot of symptoms. I was like, yes, ma'am. I wrote everything that was new, anything, you
Very
know.
helpful, definitely.
And so she said, this is all from the lesion in the spine that has to do with your hands and your legs.
Okay.
You have to keep notes. You have to keep a tab for when you go see the doctor. You have I have this, and this I wanted to ask him. I put it on notes in my phone. I have it set to where my phone will give me a notice when I have a doctor's appointment. So it'll give me a notice like, hey, you put all these questions in here for a reason. Let's tell the doctor these things. So yes, write it down. You have to write it down.
And you have to be thankful and faithful that when you wake up, every day is a good day. You have to, even though it's going crazy, not a bad day.